Love is our deepest prayer. Love is what we are made of. Love is what we belong to. Love is our deepest prayer. Love, 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 love. Love is what we are made of. Love is what we belong to. Love is our deepest prayer. Love is what we are made of. Love is what we belong to. Love is our deepest prayer. Love is our deepest prayer. Love is our deepest prayer. Day, open my heart to live your way. Teach me to hear your voice. Open my mind to the freedom of choice. Spirit, guide my day.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Napa Valley Center for Spiritual Living. So good to have everybody here today. Whether this is your first time or your 100th time, also, we welcome all the people online. We open you as you view us on your computer screen or your big TV screen. Know that you're part of this community. So blessings right where you are. We like to start each service with a little music, and today Georgia Davis is bringing us that, practitioner and ministerial student and musician extraordinaire. So here she is. Welcome, Georgia.
Thanks, Jay. And this is a song that I wrote, and I was assisted by Melissa Philippe, and you can hear her on the piano. Hit it, Phil. Just a little something to wake you up this morning. Dance if you got it. I guess I could say, shake it if you've got it. My mom's here, I'd say, shake what your mama gave you. Whoa, 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 I awoke one morning. My head was full of petty whoa, 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 whoas. And I couldn't find one single gratitude to get me on my toes. I was feeling so sad, I was feeling so weak, but from somewhere I remembered a prayer given to me. It was the universe conspires for my best and highest good. You know it waits with bated breath for me to say I do, and I do. I accept my highest good. I accept, whoa, yeah, I accept, and I let go of what could, would, should. Something wonderful's about to happen. Here's another prayer I've heard. But there's another way to see it. I think I prefer. Yeah, something wonderful is me, and something wonderful is you. Yeah, something wonderful is what we all are. Whoa, 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 through and through, yeah, through and through. I accept my highest good. I accept, oh yeah, I accept, and I let go of what could, would, should. Could is to prepare for a future that hasn't happened anyway. Would is what I would have done in a past that is gone today. And should is how I should be right now, how I should think or how I should act. Oh, even though I know in this moment, Spirit is where it's at. I accept my highest good. I accept, oh yeah, I accept, and I let go of what could, would, should. I accept.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We accept today, right? We're in accepting mood. So beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So we'd like to begin each service with our vision and mission statement. So if you'll look up on the screen or the screen that you're watching from home and read with me. We are an inclusive community for spiritual growth and compassionate action. And our mission statement, we are co-creating a world that works for everyone by living intentionally, loving unconditionally, and seeing God in all people and all faiths. It does take a sense of acceptance, a sense of observing and mindfulness to fulfill this. And I appreciate you individually and collectively as a community. We are fulfilling this vision and mission. So thank you for being a part of that in this way. A special welcome to you if this happens to be your first time. There will be acknowledgement of you later in the service, and a special gift for you as well. If you are watching online for the first time, let us know in the chat box where you're from. We had somebody from Kentucky last week, and we have people from all over the United States and even elsewhere in Canada and Mexico as well. So thank you for being a part of our service. I do want to let you know a few announcements before we begin the sacred part of our service. The first one is I am so excited about this, that it actually came through. In 2019, I approached Puertas Abiertas to the idea of us giving to low-income families. And we had been doing the Piners gift giving for a long time. And when we did that, we always said really the holidays began once we went to the Piners and sang song and gave the gifts. But I was looking, and our board was looking for a way to reach out to some of the low-income families who are working but still have trouble getting ends meet. And I think this valley is so good about that with programs like Ole Health and other programs that really help families that just are just living from paycheck to paycheck, and the basics are sometimes hard to do when it comes to the holidays. So in 2019 was the first time we did this, and I approached them again this year, and they were much more organized this year, and they were ready for us. And so it's so exciting that we have another opportunity to partner with Puertas Abiertas to their mission to assist low-income families in achieving healthy living and self-sufficiently. And actually, their mission is for all families, but in particular, this program is for low-income families, and to have to provide a very Merry Christmas, a brighter Christmas. So there are simple steps to do this. That out in the courtyard, in the registration guest area, there is a sign-up sheet. And there we have 30 families this year. So we have a lot of families, and you simply choose a family, or if you're online or hear about it, or you want to invite your neighbors to do this, you're welcome to do this. And they can call Mary at the office. Mary's back there. Yay, Mary. And or send her an email. And then when you'll have a very specific list from that, there'd be a family number, there'd be a family name, usually one of the parents' names, and then how many people are in the household and how many children do they have. And you'll have a clear list of the children's names, their age, often clothing size, and different interests and Christmas wishes that are there. So then you go out and do the shopping for those children, wrap it up, make sure they're clearly tagged so we know which family they're going to, which child and which family they're going to, and bring it back by December 12th is the deadline, I believe December 12th. Also, in addition, this is an optional part of it, is you can buy grocery gift cards or other kinds of gift cards and include that for the family as a whole. That would be the optional part of it. The main request is for the children. And like I said, you'll be able to take home a sheet today that clearly says what the children's are, and take advantage of any sales that might be coming through. Or if you're like me, there's always Amazon. And If you use Amazon, we really appreciate doing the Smile Amazon option and designate the Napa Valley Center for Spiritual Living as your designator. And it's something like 0.5 or 0.05%. It's not very much, but it adds up. We had over $1,000 coming from Amazon last year from purchases. So we'd even like to increase that more with the holiday giving. I know my sister uses it too, and benefits our center. So it could be your family members as well. And also in terms of this gift giving, if sometimes when you're giving gifts to adults, you don't know what to give them. Well, you could give them a donation of, instead of buying a new gift this year, I bought these gifts for these children. And you could include a copy of the sheets of the things you bought for the family. So it's a way to give in honor of someone in that way. So I really appreciate that. We have a number of families, like I said, so also invite your neighbors or family members to participate in this program, whether they're part of this community or not. So, and online, once again, contact Mary and she'll be able to send that to you on email. So. The other thing is we're still accepting cards of intention for 2022. You just anticipate what giving you might be doing in 2022. I want to let you know an update today. So the board's goal was $100,000, and we are now up to, let me get the exact figure here. I know it's here. Oh, $97,820. We're real close to that. So if you want to be the person that puts us over that edge, we'd really appreciate it. That'd be great. Gift giving, year-end gift giving. We appreciate you considering our center and your gift giving at the end of the year. And save the date for December 23rd. That's a Thursday. We are going to do a candle lighting service. We're even talking about maybe doing it outdoors to have a tent set up and be able to, so that we can do the candle lighting and everybody be gathered at once to be able to do that. So practitioners are in the process of planning that. So we're excited about that. And then we also want to make sure you know that we're here for you. There's prayer requests available in the lobby or online. Practitioners are available after this service to pray with. And if you have any other kind of support requests, please contact Mary. We have different kinds of referrals and we have different kinds of availability here at the center. So I know the holidays are not always easy. So please let us know if you need any assistance of any kind. And then anything else, we have meditations on Wednesday, both in English and Spanish. We have recovery groups. We have a Course in Miracles, different kinds of groups, and you can find all of that on our website, nvcsl.com. So thank you for being a part of that. And now we'll begin the sacred part of our service.
And as we begin the sacred part of our service, I'd just like to invite you at the end of the song to just allow the music to be in the room rather than clap, so that you can really feel it as we move into the meditation, quiet, and prayer. O lover of my soul and keeper of my spirit, nothing can separate us, we are one. O lover of my soul and keeper of my spirit, nothing can separate us, we are one. We are one. We are one. Nothing can separate us. We are one. We are one. We are one. Nothing can separate us. We are one. All nations on the earth, all life upon the planet. Nothing can separate us. We are one. All nations on the earth, all life upon the planet. Nothing can separate us. We are one. We are one. We are one. Nothing can separate us. We are one. Oh, lover of my soul and keeper of my spirit, nothing can separate us. We are one.
And so I open this service with a deep knowing that God is here in this very room, always in our hearts. And we carry this notion that we are one with us throughout our lives every day. And I give thanks for this service, knowing that every word that is spoken is heard in our heart in a very special place. I give thanks knowing that the beauty that surrounds us is the life force of God expressing everywhere. And I bless each and every one of you who has come to this service to hear their heart in a new way. And so I call forth right now a time to reflect and to be silent and allowing ourselves to be steeped in that knowingness that we are one. And now it is my pleasure to speak the word that life is a joy and a precious gift that we've all been given. And a very good friend of mine who is in transition right now, Father Tom Frost, he's a Franciscan friar, and I've known him for 50 years. I was the resident cook at a men's retreat house in Malibu for 5 years. And I had the honor of knowing this wonderful human being who taught me about love, who taught me that people that are different are nothing to be afraid of, that people who are different than me are blessings to us all, that we are all God's people, and that whatever path we are on, that is our path to choose to walk. And so last night, as I was reflecting on my time with Tom, I recognized that my life has been a very rich kaleidoscope of everything that has come into my life in the form of the people that I've met, in the journey that I've been on, in all the sorrows that I have experienced, and all the love that I have been embraced by. I recognize that this kaleidoscope of life that has been my pleasure to live has truly empowered me to be the person that I am right now. I'm so grateful for this community and all that I've learned and shared with each and every one of you. I'm so grateful for all the travels that I've been on and seen with my own eyes how people live in other parts of the world. And I know that we are all God's blessings and that we are all here to express God in our own way. I know that St. Francis of Assisi, on his dying bed, said to his brother friars, "Now the work really begins." And so Francis of Assisi knew that just because you leave this earth plane, your work is never done, that we go on from here. And so I have a wonderful quote from Ernest Holmes, and he says, "In everything give thanks. An attitude of gratitude is most salutary and bespeaks the realization that we are now in heaven." So if you would like to, I would like to have you share this affirmation today. I'll say it and you can repeat it. And so the affirmation is, I am grateful to Spirit for the never-ending kaleidoscope of my life unfolding. And I'm so grateful to share it as one with all my friends and family. And so it is. Thank you. God bless.
So good morning, everyone. Good morning. I had a friend and teacher, Reverend Jeff Anderson, and he transitioned out of his body about this time last year. But one of the things that Reverend Jeff used to say was, it's simple to follow the Frank Sinatra way of living, which is do, be, do, be, do. So this is my little tribute to Jeff. And if you want to sing along, please do, and be. And Phil will fill it in. I've got to learn some better jokes in between these things, I think. I think I'll just dump Jay's iPad first. That would be very funny, but... Yeah. A simple guide for living, do-be-do-be-do. Add in prayer and forgiving, do-be-do-be-do. A balanced way to live, do-be-do-be-do. Like giving and receiving, do-be-do-be-do. Inhaling and exhaling, do-be-do-be-do. Loving and being loved, do-be-do-be-do. Action and acceptance, do-be-do-be-do. Like prayer and meditation, goodbye and hello. Little did I know, one important as the other, dancing together forever. Ever since I learned this form of living is so much easier. Doing and being, doing and being, doing and being again. Do-be-do-be-do, action and acceptance, do-be-do-be-do. Like prayer and meditation, goodbye and hello. Little did I know, one is important as the other, dancing together forever. Ever since I learned living is so much easier, doing and being, doing and being, doing and being again, loving and being loved. They're just as important, giving and receiving. Oh, they are two sides of the same coin, that we never know which will give and which will receive. As we did today, I believe. Doobie doobie doo. Thanks for singing along with me. That's showbiz, folks.
That's great, Georgia. What great modeling, when life doesn't turn out exactly as you think. Just trust Spirit and go with it, right? You are loved here, so it's a safe place too, which is great. Well, hello once again. Today, I wanted to talk about celebrating a triumphant journey. All month we've been talking about the theme of so grateful. And this is the week of Thanksgiving. The coming up, I heard somebody's already had the one Thanksgiving feast, and you may be heading towards others. And, I'm known for really bad jokes, but when I prepared for this talk, I didn't want to do any jokes because Thanksgiving is not always a jolly holiday. It is a couple reasons. One is this time during COVID has put some tension between some families. It has created some separation with families. Some people have lost a lot during this. And when you had a holiday, sometimes you remember those losses, and it's not always easy. So when you talk about this idea, celebrating a triumphant journey, you go, Reverend Jay, life is not always triumphant. You can't be Pollyanna about, oh, yes, just feel the gratitude. I understand that. And for me, a triumphant journey is just trusting Spirit in this way, trusting that things will unfold and that there's a divine order and a divine blessing in all that we do. I think even the narrative of the first Thanksgiving is changing from the perspective as we awaken to an awareness of the perspective from Native Americans. Is Thanksgiving something to celebrate? Well, I still believe in Thanksgiving as being a holiday of gratitude, a holiday of opening to Spirit and what gratitude brings for us, and also the ideal of what Thanksgiving is. If you'll remember that, it's a coming together of two cultures. So maybe it can be about a coming together of all cultures, all races, all faiths in a place of oneness. So the ideal of Thanksgiving, we can still make it about that. And for some of us, it's a coming back together of family that's been hard during COVID. And maybe cross words have been said out of frustration with the way the life is, and it wasn't personal, and families are beginning to come back together and finding a way to bridge the gap, to find the love again. And so I want to support that. I want to support this unity and to come together and in community with friends and family and feel the losses that we've had. It's communal. It's familial losses that we've had. There's no reason to feel separate in it. It's come together and be one. And yet, I don't know about you, but I tend to overthink things and overanalyze things a little bit. I was out walking in my neighborhood the other day, and I couldn't help but notice there were some trees, the leaves were all fallen, and others were still in their glory of their brightness, and still others were green still. Not even counting the pine trees. There was deciduous trees that were still green. And I thought about how those trees were not worrying or concerned about the level of fall they were in, the level of leaves. They weren't going, oh, when are my leaves going to fall? I'm so concerned about this, or well, their leaves fell, mine haven't yet. The kind of things that we do. They were just hanging out, allowing things to unfold in perfect ways. And I thought, well, why can't I be more like the trees and let things go easily, just to let go of the overthinking and the overanalyzation. And then I realized, really, it's human to be curious. It's human to consider the possibilities and the what ifs, and that the thing is, we can't get over caught in that. To be aware of that and allow things to go back to that, because the same thinking and consciousness that creates our worries and fears, that makes up things, is the same consciousness that can create not only peace in the moment, but create that which we are seeking to create out in the world. It's the same consciousness. We have the ability to do that if we are mindful and aware and allow this mindfulness to create. Allow life to smooth out with grace, with ease, and with love. So how do we celebrate a triumphant journey when things don't seem so triumphant? Well, I'd say the first thing that's important to do is to learn how to stop overthinking. It's easier said than done, right? I know I'm not alone in that. And the thing is, the first step is just noticing it. Oh, I'm overthinking this. I'm thinking too much about it. I'm not allowing spirit in to even have a little bitty gap in my brain. I'm filling it up so much. And just to allow that, noticing that, there I go again. I caught myself being human, because, I can beat myself up about not being like the tree and just letting things go. Or I can notice my humanness and choose something different, choose my divinity. If we get caught up in the shame and blame, whether it's ourselves or someone else, then we're back into the overthinking. We're making stuff up. So just notice your humanity. Notice that there are going to be natural progressions, natural times when things come and go, a waxing and waning of our lives. When things are going the way that we hope they go, and when things don't always go that way. What I know is, in this mindfulness, when we catch ourselves overthinking, we can just simply settle things down like this knotted thing that we have in overthinking, and just kind of spread it out, relax, find the peace, and allow one thought, one thing to happen at a time, to slow it down rather than get caught up in the maze of our thinking, to let it go and allow what is to be there. There's a great book called The Fall of Freddie the Leaf. How many people have read that before? Okay, it's by Leo Biscali, who is known as the Doctor of Love. This is back in the 60s and 70s. He promoted the concept of our need for hugs, and he would say we need 5 to survive, 8 to maintain, and 12 to thrive. I don't know about you, but during the heat of this COVID, we're not through with it yet, but the almost post-pandemic time, we're starting to get a few more hugs and maybe enough to at least survive, but I don't know about thriving. But what I love about this book that he wrote it at first for children to understand the concept of death. But really, as he wrote it, adults were reading it and they were saying, this is about life. This is about letting go. This is about change. And that we cling to things, with our fingernails on the walls because we want to hold on to what we have. And so this book is about a leaf called Freddie. And he clung to being in the tree. He didn't want to let go. And he ended up as being one of the last leaves on the tree because he didn't want to let go. And he had this friend, Daniel, who was a wise leaf, and they spoke to each other quite often. And Daniel would say he didn't want to let go because he didn't know what was down there. Can you relate to that? Not wanting to let go because you don't know what's next in the unpredictable times we have. And Daniel said, we all fear what we don't know, Freddie. It's natural. Yet you were not afraid when summer became fall. Those were natural changes. Why should we be afraid of falling? And so, indeed, Freddie was the absolute last. Daniel even fell, and Freddie was the last leaf, but finally a wind came up, and he had become brittle, and it was cold. But when he finally let go, it was warm, and he realized that he was comfortable and loved and supported. He couldn't see the big picture that Daniel talked about, how that really there's a bigger cycle going on, that the fall turns into winter and the winter turns into spring and new leaves are already beginning. But Daniel did say that really our purpose is simply about the sun and the moon and having happy times together, to being, in case of a leaf, providing shade, but providing comfort for our friends. And it's about the colors of fall and about the seasons. And isn't that enough for life? That we can trust that things unfold so we can simply let go and allow Spirit to be that which is bigger and brighter in our lives. And the next thing I want to say, so we let go, we allow, we notice our overthinking, and then we can let it go. And then we become loud in our thanksgiving. Now, in this phrase, I don't necessarily mean loud at the table, even though that's okay too. I simply mean that loud in our thanksgiving in every part of our lives. And sometimes that is a quietness of the moment. Sometimes it's just being by yourself and you can be loud. And other times you're with friends and you can just feel this inner thanksgiving, this inner gratitude happen so clearly. I was reading a blog this week from Darlene Treese. And she talked about, and I remember this as a elementary school teacher, you would tell kids to have their inside voice indoors, but then they go outside, they can do their outside voice. And she was using this as a comparison to our lives, that 90% of our lives are going great, but there's 10% that is, you'd like it a little different. It's a little pinch. It's a little problem here. That 10% gets most of the volume in our lives. We focus on that. And she's suggesting we increase the volume of that 90%. So to be louder in our gratitude of that 90%. I know that gratitude is important for us in all ways. Ernest Holmes said, when we constructively praise and creatively bless, life abounds with life, peace, and joy, and it creates a consciousness of unity. You heard Diana's quote this morning from Ernest Holmes. So this is just opening up our lives in this way. I also want to, some of us, and myself included, and some people that are in the room today have gone to Unity. And there are, Unity churches are New Thought cousins. Emma Curtis Hopkins taught both the Fillmores, who founded Unity, and taught Ernest Holmes, who founded Centers for Spiritual Living. And Myrtle Fillmore, I want to let you, because not everybody knows about her, I want to let you know a little bit about her. She had tuberculosis, and back in the late 1800s, this was a death sentence for many people. And she began to use affirmative thoughts, affirmative prayer, as well as sending her body thoughts of love and gratitude. And she healed herself. She didn't know much about New Thought before that. She was relying on what other people were talking about, but she was so taken by this healing that happened in her that she got her husband to come along too and told him about it. And so together they founded Unity Church, and we're all blessed to have Unity churches across the world. But she said, gratitude and thanksgiving are qualities of the soul, that heaven and earth listen and respond to the soul that is quickened into praise and thanksgiving. So what I love about this idea is that not only does gratitude within us bring us to a better mood, a more peace, a more joy, more triumphant journey that we have, it also is a creative element. Gratitude creates that which we're seeking in our life. Gratitude creates more to be grateful for. So how beautiful is this? And this is what Myrtle Fillmore discovered, that this gratitude was actually a healing energy in her body, that she had a physical thing. And whether it's emotional or physical within you, gratitude is a healing force within you that can bring this to a greater revelation of healing, a greater revelation of joy and contentment in your life. So when we're able to notice, we're able to shift fear to faith, from hesitation, we can go to a celebration of this triumphant journey. And I know it always doesn't feel this triumphant, but we find within ourselves a peace. We find within ourselves a clarity and a gratitude. And then we can enjoy the moment, even if there's that 10% that's still nagging at us. But we allow that 90% to be what we're walking with in this triumphant journey. And know the other 10% is going to unfold in perfect ways because we affirm it and know it to be so. Emmett Curtis Hopkins, which I mentioned a minute ago, she is the teacher of many, had over 50,000 students in the early 1900s, which is, or 1920s and 30s, which is crazy at that time. You know, you couldn't just hop on a jet and go to Chicago where she was. 50,000 students. It's quite incredible. She was quite the teacher. She said whenever she had an obstacle in her life, she would say, "This too is God. This too is good. This too is for me, and I demand to see the blessing in it now." She was clear about that there's good there. As I talked about last week, sometimes it is a hidden good. It is a concealed good, but we walk with faith, we walk with trust, knowing that it will reveal itself and claim it to be so. This too is God. This too is good. This too is for me. And I demand to see the blessing in it now. I thought this week about so many conscious and mindful people who've walked the path, knowing things might not shift right away, but they did it in a triumphant way, affirming that change would happen. I mean, Muhammad Gandhi, that in his salt marches, that protested the British oppression. Martin Luther King and so many other people that had civil rights marches. Women's marches that have been going on for 150 years or more. And what I notice about all of those kind of marches is there was singing and there was dancing and there was chants. There was a celebration of a journey, even though they knew things might not change right away. But there was a celebration that it would change someday. I don't know if you saw it in the news, but there were two young women who their names were Hannah Duell and Zinnia Fod, They were Australian young women, 21 and 28. They scaled a huge coal handling machine in Australia shortly before dawn on Wednesday, disrupting operations with the world's largest coal port for several hours to protest what they say is Australia's lack of action on climate change. First of all, what guts, right? I mean, they are, this shows, it's not a great picture, but this is just their cell phone. First of all, they're taking a selfie and they're like, 500 feet off the ground and they're just hanging out there. They climbed up in the dark and it literally, the bigger picture is mountains of coal that are shipped out of Australia, which they say is damaging the environment in Australia, and they're shipping it to other places and polluting the air and damaging our climate. And they're protesting now. Now, they look really happy, right? They know that they're going to be taken down forcefully. They're going to be arrested, which they were. They know that today things won't change with this port. But they're celebrating their triumphant journey in this moment because they are seeking this change and they are happy to be knowing that change is happening. And if these two young ladies can do it, I can do that too. I can celebrate it. I mean, Gandhi, for instance, India independence from Britain did not happen for 20 years after the salt marches. Civil rights marches, we're not quite there yet, right? We've got a long way to go with not having discrimination and racism in this nation. And women's marches, women's rights are being threatened again. And I want to make sure that this center stands on pro-choice because I believe it is a spiritual freedom to have that people are in control of their own bodies. Your body, your choice. And I believe that stands on a spiritual truth that we stand on, not on some misinterpretation of a sacred document. And we know those girls that were up there 500 feet in the air, they knew things wouldn't change right away, but we can still celebrate it knowing that change is happening. I know that I stand concerned about our laws in this nation that acquitted, what's his name, Kyle Rittenhouse. Now, I trust that the jury really looked at the law. I find fault not in the jury, but in the law itself that allows somebody to carry a gun to a peaceful march. We're in a constitutional right to have a peaceful march. I'm also concerned about the trial of the three men, one of which shot Ahmaud Arbery, that's going on in Georgia right now. I think, and I'm concerned about that. That's even in question. I'm concerned it took over 2 months to even charge anybody with the murder. I'm concerned that the jury is taking so long to deliberate when, to me, it's a no-brainer. But once again, the laws in that state, they're trying to follow the laws. And I find fault with the laws that need to change. So I stand for laws that keep everybody safe, that we can have freedom to own guns, but they need to make sure they're in the right hands at the right time. And we can still celebrate the triumphant journey. We can hear these news reports. And as somebody I was reading this week said, they write their own news stories, met a new friend today, had a great meal today. They listen to their own stories, and we need to write our own narratives of things that are going on. Ernest Holmes says that let us live and think that we might retire at night in peace, knowing that there's no harm can come to the soul. That we may rise in the morning renewed in body and in mind with a brighter outlook, a happier expectations, and a clear joy. In everything, give thanks. It's okay that I'm being human. It's okay that other people are being human. I know when I completed my walk that I started talking about at the beginning of the service, I was grateful for the magnificent glory of the trees. And I was also grateful for the magnificent glory of my humanity. And I'm grateful for the magnificent glory of all your humanity. And I know we can shift from a place of divine expression, a shift from fear to faith, from worry to empathy. We can experience someone who we're challenged with and saying, wow, they are being very human. And they are so divine. And say that about ourselves, like, I am being so human and I am so divine. Repeat that after me. I am so divine. I am so divine. One more time. I am so divine. And turn to somebody else around you. You are so divine. You are so divine. You are so divine. And then together, we are so divine. We are so divine. One more time. We are so divine. Amada Mo, who's a spiritual teacher, says that awakening is no longer about abandoning or transcending physical reality to live a spiritual life. It is the fulfillment of our divine destiny by living truth of our inner radiance while in our earthly bodies. She talks about living our awakening in every moment with embodied enlightenment. To do that, we need to be in our body. We need to accept our humanity and proclaim our divinity. Let us go to prayer. We know there is only God. And we know, like Emma Curtis Hopkins, we can claim the good and the God in everything, in every person and in ourselves. So in this moment, we take the time to do that, to claim that good, to claim that God in all things. I recognize the God in all people here and all people on this planet. And I recognize the good in all situations. And we affirm that that is so by simply saying together, and so it is. All yours.
Such a great message. You might know this one. You don't know me, but I'm your sister. I was raised here in this living shell. All you know my kind in your world. Pretty soon the time will tell. You telling me the things you're gonna do for me. Well, I ain't blind and I don't like what I think I see. Taking it to the streets. Taking it to the streets. Take this message to my brother. You will find him everywhere. Wherever people live together. No matter skin color or hair. You telling me the things you're gonna do for me. I ain't blind and I don't like what I think I see. Taking it to the streets. Come on, people, now. We're taking it to the streets. taking it to the streets. Take it now. Taking it. Let's take it out now to the streets. Bring your love, bring your peace. Bring it to your brothers, please. Take it now. Take it all, take it all. Take it to the streets. You're telling me you do things for me, but I ain't blind and I don't like what I think I see. Let's take it all to the streets. Take it all to the streets. Taking it to the streets. Take it to the streets. Take it out to the streets. Take it out to the streets. Taking it to the streets. Taking it to the streets. Take it out to the streets. Take it to the streets. Take it all to the streets. Take it all to the streets. Taking it. We're taking it to the streets. Taking it to the streets. Take it out to the streets. Taking it to the streets. Take it now.
That was appropriate. We're taking our principles out to the street.
That's
great.
right.
I love it.
Bring it all with you.
Bring it all with us, right? What happens here doesn't stay here, right?
Take it to the streets.
Amen. So it's time in our service when we celebrate the sharing of abundance. We appreciate your contribution. We know that any contribution you give to us not only supports and is part of our vision that you are partnering with, but it increases your abundance and your connection with Spirit in that way. So thank you for being a part of this. If you could take any contribution you have, or if you've done it online during the week or any other time, if you just want to hold your hand to your heart and repeat the affirmation that's on the screen. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. And so it is. Feel free to offer any contributions by bringing them up to the basket in front or the one in the back.
And you're welcome to sing along to this one if you know it. It's a good affirmation. As I say a tender yes to everything that comes to me, my heart is open, I am free. I open to all that is, brings me to my knees. I surrender, I am peace. As I say a tender yes to everything that comes to me, my heart is open, I am free. I open to all that is, it brings me to my knees. I surrender, I am peace.
So if this is your first time here, we would appreciate to acknowledge you. If you're willing to raise your hand, we have a gift for you and a greeting. And we also honor those who might be here on the first time online. So if you're willing to raise your hand, we have a couple people over here and one person up. I know, we're always new. Welcome, welcome. And we also welcome anybody online. And if you can receive the same kind of gift they receive, if you let Mary know, the same office at nvcsl.com, let us know who you are. We would appreciate that. And we have a blessing for everybody, but especially those people who are here for the first time. So we raise our hands and we say, we bless you today, knowing that the peace and happiness you seek is also seeking you. We honor your inner radiance as you let your light shine in the world. We are grateful for your presence in our community. And so it is. I'd like to remind people to, as you leave the sanctuary, to put your mask back on. So as we're milling around people, if it's off, or to keep it on until you're outside. We do have coffee and some snacks outside, right, Mary? There's some snacks out there, those breakfast bars and things like that people are welcome to be a part of and hang around and introduce yourself or get to know some other people. So we so invite you to do that. As well as if you want to stay in the sanctuary for prayers with practitioners, that's also available to you. And now we have our closing song.
And Jay, did you notice that Daniel's right there?
Daniel?
Yeah.
I'm missing. Oh, Daniel and Freddie. Daniel and Freddie. They're staying on. They're not going to fall off, though. I was like, what?
If you see a name on there, don't blame me.
Okay. Well, I see. I don't know. Up close, you see different faiths up here.
Right, but these faiths are going to stay on the tree.
Okay. Okay, but Freddie might fall.
But Freddie might fall.
Okay. All right.
So I just encourage you to stand so that we sing the final song. And this one, you probably know if you were born before the 70s.
I think they know it even if they were born after.
Yeah, you can repeat after me because there'll be a couple of verses that you may not be used to. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome today. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe that we shall overcome today. We shall live in peace. We shall live in peace. We shall live in peace today. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe that we shall live in peace today.
Absolutely. As we go forth, we know this to be our truth, that we live in peace in this moment and all moments to come. And so it is.
And so it is.
Let's take it to the street, right? Have a happy Thanksgiving.
Taking it to the streets. Take it out to the streets. Take your peace to the streets. Take your love to the streets.
Oh, you can. I think that's a good idea. Yeah. All right.